Welcome back to the channel, everyone. How to handle it's too expensive without lowering your price. It's so big, right? We all hear this every single day, especially when we're doing a ton of outreach and really growing our firm or growing our revenue if you're a salesman, because my videos are good for everyone, but I feel like every accountant eventually hears that's too expensive, I need to think about it, I found someone cheaper. Most salespeople panic, they defend, they justify, they discount, right? So today I'm going to show you why that's exactly the wrong response, because here's the truth: nobody objects to price, they object to their own internal uncertainty, right? So by the end of this video, you'll understand how elite sales professionals think about price objections, why they happen, how to prevent them, and exactly how to uncover what's really going on inside of your prospect's mind. So let's jump into it. Hey, write this down. We're going to cover principles today. So principle number 1, price is the verdict, not the crime. That's the title of principle 1. Hey, look, the principle is this. One of the biggest mistakes in sales is believing the objection starts when the prospect says it. It doesn't. The objection started much earlier. Think of the sales call like a court case, all right? Every question you ask, every answer you ignore, every story you tell, every example that you use is evidence. And at the end of the conversation, your prospect delivers the verdict. That verdict sounds like, hey, it's too expensive. But the verdict isn't the problem, it's the evidence. So look, price objections are almost always the result of something that wasn't built. Maybe you didn't create enough trust. Maybe you never quantified the cost of their problem. All right, maybe you explained your services instead of painting their future, or maybe you skipped discovery because you were too excited to present your solution. The objection is simply revealing where your sales process leaks certainty. All right. Elite salespeople don't fight verdicts. We investigate evidence, okay? Let me give you an accounting example. So imagine you spend 20 minutes explaining bookkeeping. You talk about reconciliations, financial statements, QuickBooks, monthly reporting. Then the prospect says, that's more than I wanted to spend. They're not rejecting bookkeeping. They're rejecting the value they connected to bookkeeping, right? Had you shown them how inaccurate books can lead to poor cash flow decisions, missed tax deductions, and thousands of dollars in preventable mistakes, the exact same price would have been evaluated differently, right? So stop asking, how do I answer this objection? And start asking, what caused this objection to exist in the first place? And that single mindset shift changes everything for you guys. Let me give you a word track, all right? Hey, John, I appreciate you being honest with me. When you say it's expensive, help me understand exactly what you're comparing it to. Boom! All right, I'm advancing the sale. I'm back in the game. Let's jump down to principle number 2. Write this down. Principle number 2. People don't buy accounting services. And if you're not in the accounting industry, people don't buy your product or your services, right? Here's the principle. For principle number 2, you have to understand this, guys. People never buy bookkeeping. They never buy tax preparation. They never buy payroll. They never buy advisory. They buy what those things make possible, okay? Business owners don't wake up excited about the monthly reconciliations. They don't wake up excited about payroll. They wake up worried about payroll, right? They wake up worried about cash flow, taxes, growth, hiring, profit. Your service is simply the bridge. The destination is what they actually value. If you sell the bridge, you'll compete on price. If you sell the destination, you'll compete on outcomes. Okay, let me give you an example. The average accountant, this is what you say to people. This is what most of you say to people, right? Hey, we reconcile all your accounts every single month. Well, this is what you need to say. So replace it with this. And make sure you write this down and actually say it on your calls. We make sure you always know exactly where your business stands financially, so every major decision you make is backed by accurate numbers instead of guesswork. It's the same service, but different outcome, all right? You got to run the play. All right, understand this too. Every feature should answer one question. So what? Keep asking yourself, every time, keep asking yourself that until you reach an emotional business outcome. Let me give you a good word track to use. How would your business change if every financial decision you made was based on complete confidence instead of assumptions? Right? Huge difference. Make sure you actually say it and you'll see the difference on your calls. It's going to be huge. All right, let's move to principle number 3. The brain doesn't evaluate price first. That's the title of principle number 3. Guys, the prospect, they're sitting there, right? Your prospect's brain doesn't ask, how much does this cost? You know what it asks? Is this worth the risk? And those are completely different questions. So once you know what they're asking themselves internally, you can speak to the tune. So I want you to think about something. Think about two different purchases, all right? Someone buys a $6 coffee and complains it's overpriced. The same person spends $12,000 on a family vacation and says it's worth every penny. Well, why? Why does that happen? The money wasn't the deciding factor. The perceived value was. You have to understand, people don't measure price in dollars. They measure price against expected outcomes. The greater the expected return, the smaller the price feels. So your job isn't to make your service feel cheaper. Your job is to make the future feel bigger, right? Let me give you something good to say on the phone. Let me give you some more golden nuggets. This is like a gold mine, this video. Look, here's what you would say to him. Hey, can I ask you something? Notice the tone shift. If you were completely confident this would help your business grow, would this investment still feel expensive? That question separates uncertainty from affordability, okay? And you have to ask it in a kind of confused tone, right? It's the sauce. That's the magic. You just got to run it. You got to, I can't even think of a magical term. I don't even know. What does that say? Abracadabra. There we go, right? You got to say it. All right, principle number 4. Okay, write this down. Most price objections, they're not about money, guys. It's not ever about money. When someone says it's too expensive, translate it, because that's what they're here's what they're really saying, okay? If they say, I'm not sure, I've been burned out, I don't know if this will still work, I'm afraid of making the wrong decision, I'm uncomfortable in investing in our business, those aren't financial objections, they're actually emotional ones. So here's the thing. I mean, you have to understand this, right? Money is often the language people use when they don't know how to describe uncertainty. Okay, that's why great salespeople stay curious. Average salespeople defend. Elite salespeople we diagnose. The first person asking thoughtful questions controls the conversation. The first person defending themselves loses leverage. So we don't want to defend ourselves. Let me show you how to do it. This is what you need to say on the calls. All right. So Janet, what would need to happen for this investment to make complete sense to you? And then listen, don't interrupt. The answer usually contains the roadmap to the sale. All right, let's go to principle number 5. Stop selling price. I love this. I teach it all the time in my videos. Stop selling price and start selling consequences. You have to understand, pain is the reason they'll change. Nothing else. It's pain. Now, it's a blend of emotions that you take them through on the sales process, but pain is always number 1. All right? Look. And how you do it? You got to sell consequences. Every business owner compares your fee against doing nothing. Your responsibility is to change what they're comparing it to. So look, if inaccurate books are causing poor decisions, if bad tax planning is costing them thousands, if they don't know their true profitability, doing nothing already has a cost. Most prospects simply haven't calculated it. That's your job, baby. Not to pressure, but to quantify. You got to show them. Let me show you how to do it. You simply ask them, hey, how many hours each month are you spending fixing bookkeeping issues? What would one wrong financial decision cost your business? If your books aren't accurate, how confident are you making higher decisions? Let me roll through that again for you because I stuttered a little bit. Been doing so much training today for my sales reps, taking them to the next level. Woo! Love it. Hey, how many hours each month are you spending fixing bookkeeping issues? What would one wrong financial decision cost your business this month? If your books aren't accurate, how confident are you making hiring decisions? See, now your fee has context, right? Listen, business owners invest to eliminate expensive problems. Make the invisible cost visible, right? If you can get good at doing that, that's going to change so much for you. Let me teach you how to actually do it. So this is what you would say to them on the phone. This is a good word track for you. So, John, for a second here, let's just look at the cost of staying exactly where you are today. Boom. Let me say it again for you. Hey, let's look at the cost of staying exactly where you are today. Because before we decide whether this investment makes sense, I think it's fair to understand what an action is already costing your business. Boom! You hit them with that, you're good as gold. I'll say it to you one more time because it was so good. Hey, let's look at the cost of staying exactly where you are today. Because before we decide whether the investment makes sense, I think it's fair to understand what an action is already costing your business. Bam! Show them. Show them the money that they've been bleeding, right? Then solve it. Show them the solution of using your services. Stop the bleeding, increase the profit. All right, let's go to principle number 6. The elite mindset. Well, a lot of you don't know me, you're watching me through videos, but I'm all about mindset. Look, If you hear someone say it's too expensive, I don't want you to hear rejection. I want you to hear information. Okay, they're telling you exactly where certainty stopped growing. Your responsibility isn't to argue with the objection, it's to uncover what created it. The best accountants don't compete by lowering their prices, they compete by increasing clarity, because when a business owner clearly understands the value of solving a costly problem, price stops being the conversation. The outcome becomes the conversation. And that's where elite sales professionals win. So let me give you a challenge for the week. I actually want you to do it. You made it to the end of the video. Good for you. On your next 5 discovery calls, don't focus on defending your fee. Instead, ask yourself 3 questions after every conversation. Where did I build certainty? Where did uncertainty remain? If they objected to price, what evidence did I fail to present before the objection appeared? Review your calls with those questions and start improving the part of the sales process that actually creates objections, not just the part where they show up. Hey, make sure you check us out at Universal Accounting Center and like and subscribe.